Here at the NovaCare Complex with Eliot Shorr-Parks, 94 WIP. And Eliot, yet another setback for the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Carter has a procedure done on both shoulders. Looks like he's going to be out week to week. Definitely out for this Monday night game against the Chargers. Is this a surprise to you?
It's not a surprise. Jalen Carter's been dealing with shoulder injuries all season. Early in the year, he talked about it bothering him. And I think as a result, we've not seen the best play from Jalen Carter. So I think the hope is he has the surgery, he comes back, and he's more the player that we saw in 2024. But it also shouldn't be a surprise because he played, I think, over 1,000 snaps last year. I mean, that Super Bowl run, you are seeing the impact on these players' bodies of what happened last year. And I think we would all agree, you know, winning the Super Bowl was worth it. But now this season, you're dealing with the ramifications of that. So not surprising, but certainly a big blow to the defense.
And we forget they didn't have a bye last year, so they had to play an extra game. Then they win the Super Bowl. You're right. A huge toll being put on the bodies of these players. So do you believe that he'll be ready for the playoffs, because that is what this is happening for?
Yeah, I do think he'll play in the playoffs. Now, can he get in time before the playoffs? We'll see. When you're a guy of Jalen Carter's size, spending time off your feet, not playing football, that can really impact you. We saw this year when he missed training camp, it took him a few weeks to get going. Now, unfortunately, he's dealing with another injury. My guess is he probably doesn't play again in the regular season. If he does, it's 1, maybe 2 games. We'll see if they put him on IR. But, yeah, I do think he'll play in the playoffs. The question will be, you know, how do you trade off the shoulder health for missing 5 weeks of playing football heading into the most intense games of the season?
Now, what do you believe is the trickle-down effect of perhaps your best defensive player, perhaps your most important defensive player missing crucial time?
Yeah, the defense is built around Jalen Carter. The defense is built for Jalen Carter to be great and make everyone else great. Make the rest of the defensive line good. Help Moro Jomo, who now has more pressure on his plate. Help Jordan Davis, who now has more pressure on his plate. But not just that. It's about making the edges better, and it's about helping the back seven. The back seven this year have not really been great. They've been dealing with injuries in the secondary. The linebackers have been good for sure. But now with Andrew McCuba out, Sidney Brown potentially playing, Marcus Epps, maybe he starts Monday night, Jalen Carter can make their life easier. He can make Adoree Jackson's life easier by getting to the quarterback. So it is a big loss on this defense. We saw week 1 against Dallas when Jalen Carter wasn't out there, how the defense did struggle. Guys were open, passes were missed, but they could have easily given up 30-plus points in that game. So not having Jalen Carter is a huge deal for this defense.
They are 8-4. Not all is lost with this team. They are still talented. We'll see if they can put it together down the stretch. But do you believe that this is just part of the quote-unquote Super Bowl hangover?
Yeah, absolutely. This is what it looks like. This is what it looked like in 2018. I know they didn't win in 2022, but this is what it looked like in 2003. And we want to go all the way back. This is what it looked like in 2005. Like the 2004, 2017, 2022, and 24 Eagles are some of the best teams we've ever seen. And the following year, they always take a step back. So I think from the players and the coaches, this is what a Super Bowl hangover looks like. The question for me is, what have the Eagles learned from these past seasons? Does this season look any different than 23? Does it look any different than 18? No. And who was the general manager for those seasons? Howie Roseman. So I think Howie is a Hall of Fame GM. I think he's obviously one of the best GMs in the sport. But one thing on his resume is repeating success after having outstanding seasons. I'm not saying you got to win the Super Bowl, but you certainly can't collapse. And if this season falls apart again, that'll be a major blemish on Howie Roseman's resume.
Let's talk about some more positive news. The offensive line obviously hasn't played to its standard this year, but Jordan Mailata nominated for the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award. You get a chance to talk with him every week on WIP. Why is this, or why is he deserving of this honor?
Yeah, so the Eagles have a long history of great players, but not only great players, guys that are awesome off the field. Brian Dawkins, Jason Kelsey, Brandon Graham. Jordan Mailata is carrying that torch now. You get a chance to be around Jordan. I've been around him his whole time here. He truly is one of those guys where you think he's a great guy in person and then you meet him and he is that. I see him interact with fans all the time, and not just like off the field. Let's talk about in the building. He has become a leader for this team. He has gone from someone who didn't even know how to play football a few years ago to now being a vocal leader in that team. He is one of the best players on the team. And again, like guys like Jason Kelsey, guys like Brandon Graham, I know they're very hard to replicate and they're special in their own ways. But Jordan Mailata seems like the guy that can be the next version of that for this team.
One guy who was with the Eagles last year and then moved on to Pittsburgh and now possibly moving on to Buffalo, although we'll see, is Darius Slay. Yeah. It was reported that the Eagles put a waiver claim in for Slay after the Steelers let him go. What does that say to you, though, about the secondary and the state of it?
that they need help, and they know they need help. So I think Darius Slay would have been good for this team. And look, maybe he still will be. Maybe this time next week he'll be on the team, he'll get his way out of Buffalo, and he'll be with the Eagles. But I think what it shows is it's not so much about Adoree Jackson. Like, that is part of it for sure, but the backups. Keely Ringo, they don't seem comfortable putting him on the field. Jacorian Bennett, he's not been out on the field. Mac McWilliams is more of a slot corner, but they certainly don't seem ready to put him out on the field if needed. So they're an injury away from going to somebody they don't feel that confident in. Darius Slay, not great this year for the Steelers, but he played outstanding for the Eagles last year. So I think getting him back in here, if they can still pull it off, he will be a great backup or a good starter with a ton of playoff experience. You look at their corners right now. Adoree hasn't really played in the playoffs. Jacorian Bennett, Keely hasn't played defense in the playoffs. So I think he just brings a good veteran backup leadership if he can get his way out of Buffalo.
All right, let's move it forward because there is a big game against the 8-4 Chargers on Monday night, but they are also dealing with a key injury. Justin Herbert with the fractured left hand. It's not his throwing hand. But just how big of a deal is this? Could it be on Monday night?
Well, it's a big deal if they can get to him. I mean, if they can't get to him, it doesn't matter if he has two broken hands. They're going to be able to move the ball. So getting to him in the pocket and swiping at the football. It's hard to secure the ball with two hands when one of your hands is broken. Okay. So obviously not having Jalen Carter in this game is a big deal. But the Chargers' offensive line's not that good, and they're especially weak at tackle. The left tackle spot for them has been a disaster all year, guys cycling in and out. And the right tackle spot isn't good either. So Jalen Carter's out. Well, what does that mean? Jalen Phillips has to step up. Nolan Smith has to step up. Brandon Graham, Jalix Hunt. The edges have winnable matchups. And not only do they have to get to Herbert, they got to knock the ball out. Like, this team needs a special play right now. They need a play to help turn this around, to help win a game, to help get that confidence back. And the defense can get it done this week if they can get to Justin Herbert.
Great points. We'll see if they can do it Monday night. Eagles, Chargers, two 8-4 teams with a lot on the line. ESP. Thanks, buddy.
Talk to you soon.